Hello, welcome to class. Um, this course is titled Photography, and there are 10 modules attached to it. I'm going to take the module one after the other for the sake of this particular um, um, class or presentation, rather. I'm going to be um, teaching you on module one, which is basically introduction to photography, and we're going to be looking at a number of things. Okay, the goal of this is to ensure that you can start as a beginner and end up as a professional or an expert. So let's get right straight into it. What should we expect to see in this video? Um, I'm going to be telling you what photography is, the history of photography, the types of photography, the basic components of a camera, understanding exposure, aperture, shutter speed, ISO, composition basics, importance of lighting, and of course, the summary at the end of it all, and before the conclusion. So here is our introduction. Moving on, so photography is a powerful visual language that allows us to tell stories, preserve memories, and express creativity. So this particular module introduces you to the world of photography, guiding you through its purpose, history, and modern day relevance. You will develop an understanding of how photography shapes communication and why it remains one of the most influential art forms today. So, what is photography? Um, Simply put, photography is the art and science of capturing light using a camera. It involves creativity, technical understanding, and storytelling. Yes, so photos can document events, express emotions, or create artistic visuals. Yes, photos can document events, and it helps you to bring back memories when you're trying to refer to something. Then remember that you took this photo at so occasion or at event. The history of photography. Um, the first permanent photograph was made by Joseph Nicephore Nips in 1826, and the early cameras were large and slow, while the modern cameras that we have now are fast and digital. So the evolution includes film cameras, from there DSLRs, mirrorless camera, and smartphones. Yes, our phones are doing an amazing job that professional cameras could even do now. And types of photography. There are different types of photography. You have portrait photography, landscape photography, events photography, product photography, street photography, and then documentary and wildlife photography. So, what are the basic components of a camera? One is lens, and of course, your lens focuses light onto the sensor. The other one is image sensor, and that helps you to um, capture the image digitally. Then you have the shutter. The shutter controls exposure time. And then you have aperture. Aperture controls the amount of light entering Then you have the viewfinder or the screen, and this just helps you um, to compose your shots. Moving on, why do you need to understand exposure? So, exposure actually determines how bright or dark an image appears. It is controlled by aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. So, correct exposure ensures details in both shadows and highlights. So, talking about aperture now, controls depth of field, like background blur, and is measured in f stops, then lower f number. That's you have that. You have your wider aperture, and you have more um, more background. So shutter speed helps you to controls motion blur, and then fast shutter freezes motion, while slow shutter creates motion. It's motion. For your ISO, your ISO, sorry, controls the camera's sensitivity to light. So when you have a low ISO, you would have a clean image. But when you have a high ISO, you're likely to have more noise. So this is used in low light conditions. And composition basics. So there's a rule of thirds. You place subjects along grid lines. You have the leading lines. It guides the viewer's eyes. Then you have framing. That's using object to surround the subject. And then you have balance and symmetry, which visual appeal. So what's the importance of lighting? Light oftentimes determines mood, clarity, and depth. So soft light is flattering, and harsh light creates strong shadows. Yeah, so golden hour is ideal for photography. So basically, the the essence of this tutorial is to tell you that as a beginner rather, you can get a camera, and you can request for a videographer, and a photographer rather, and document whatever you want to, because you have learned the skill, and you would be transiting from the beginner stage to the expert stage. Of course, we'll get to how you can do all of that, but basic things that you need is consistency and more. So photography blends creativity and technical skill, and while you master your camera settings, it improves image quality, because you already know your gears, and you know how they work. You know how they would be at optimal function. Also, composition and lighting are key to great photos. So in essence, if you intend to have a great photo, you must also factor composition and lighting. So by the time that you would complete this module, this module of introduction to photography, you definitely will have a solid foundation in the meaning and significance of photography. Of course, not that you would have turned to a professional or an expert, but you will understand what it takes to start small, the power of consistency and all of that. So you will now be ready to explore the technical skills, the artistic principles, and the the creative tools that will help you grow as a photographer. All right, thank you very much. I'll see you in Model 2.